From creators Christopher Ford and John Watts, Star Wars: Skeleton Crew is the latest live-action Star Wars series to hit streaming on Disney+, sitting snugly between The Acolyte and the upcoming second season of Andor. What could once be comfortably considered a franchise is now more of an ever-growing pantheon, so it's entirely reasonable to get tripped up when tracking where each new iteration of Star Wars falls on the timeline. Lately, whether we see a present-day version of Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker or a digitally de-aged representation has been the easiest method of pinpointing where we are in franchise continuity. Even if you aren't tracking the plot, you at least know that it's set long before the sequel trilogy when a youthful-looking Luke removes his hood in The Mandalorian. When Boba Fett, Temuera Morrison, received star treatment in the aptly titled The Book of Boba Fett, you knew it took place well after his presumed demise in Return of the Jedi. Any fans of Star Wars Rebels or The Clone Wars could recognize a seasoned Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson, in her titular series, setting it long after the fall of the Republic. However, properly orienting yourself in the lore can be daunting when familiar names and faces are set aside and an entirely new cast of characters makes up the narrative. That's why you have us. Let's break down the Star Wars timeline as it's grown thus far and decipher where Skeleton Crew fits within it. Skeleton Crew serves as more than just the latest Star Wars series on Disney+, it's the next step in the continual expansion of the New Republic era. The official order of Star Wars timeline is as follows: Dawn of the Jedi, The Old Republic, The High Republic, Fall of the Jedi, Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, The New Republic, Rise of the First Order, and New Jedi Order. Skeleton Crew picks up 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, in the early days of the Republic's resurgence. Think of it this way: Skeleton Crew lies between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, though much closer in the timeline to the originals. This is just after the fall of the Empire and long before the rise of the First Order, and it's marked by the New Republic's seemingly flimsy grasp on the galaxy, with its authority still in its infantile stages. Although evil and villainy are without a strong, established regime, the Force will always find balance, meaning darkness will always rise to oppose the light. While Palpatine, Ian McDiarmid, somehow returning won't happen for many years, dark figures will attempt to fill the void left in the Empire's wake. Space pirates trek the galaxy, killing and thieving wherever they see fit. On Eta 10, a little-known planet with a surprisingly suburban feel, a human youngling named Vim, Ravi Cabot Conyers, and an adorable elephant-like youngling named Neil, Robert Timothy Smith, find themselves in a predicament. They run into 2 female younglings, Fern, Ryan Kiera Armstrong, and KB, Kiriana Crater, with whom they accidentally board a starship, triggering it into activity and setting off in hyperspace. SM-33, Nick Frost, a defunct droid seemingly the sole survivor of this pirate vessel, christens Fern as his new captain and guides the younglings to a nearby starport and pirate stronghold, Port Borgo. With the Empire gone and the Republic rebuilding, the early days of the New Republic era feel expansive, dangerous, and pleasantly limitless for a new work of Star Wars. The extent of the Jedi's presence in Skeleton Crew is unknown, for now, but the second episode ends with a mysterious Force user named Jad Na-Newood, Jude Law, encountering the younglings in a Port Borgo jail. Star Wars: Skeleton Crew is the first New Republic-era series led by neither Dave Filoni nor Jon Favreau. However, its intentional proximity to the other shows leaves it open to connections to their characters and events. The Acolyte explores the earliest point of the Star Wars timeline yet, the High Republic era, while Andor serves as a prequel series to both Rogue One and the original trilogy. The rest of the new live-action entries have focused on expanding the time between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Vane, Marty Matalis, the first mate of the pirate Gorian Shard, Nonso Anazi, from The Mandalorian Season 3, appears in Skeleton Crew's second episode, so the in-universe connections are already brewing. The Mandalorian and Grogu, an upcoming film from director Jon Favreau, the first feature-length entry depicting the New Republic era, will pick up where The Mandalorian Season 3 left off. Filoni, who now serves as Lucasfilm's chief creative officer, has long hinted about a Star Wars film that ties the New Republic era together. So, a lot of those threads start to come together, Filoni told Collider's Steve Weintraub, and then I looked at the bigger body of work that's been done and what's relevant, and a story will emerge out of that. The younglings of Skeleton Crew could very well find themselves in the presence of Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, Ahsoka Tano, or even Luke Skywalker himself. The first 2 episodes of Star Wars, Skeleton Crew are now streaming on Disney+. New episodes premiere every Monday.